Hey, what's happening? It's Eyes on Smash Bros Radio, the only digital radio station located where? Of course, Jefferson County, Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, this is Oz. If you have not done so, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to Smash Bros Radio. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us, what is it? Facebook. Check us out. Only digital radio station located in Birmingham, Alabama. What up, Reddy? The introduction was created by Reddy Kruger, and I appreciate him tremendously. So check him out. If you have any beats, if you have anything that you need to find out, check out Reddy Kruger. Fantastic. I appreciate him tremendously. As for me, you can catch me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. So check me out. Check me out. Check me out. I appreciate Reddy. Reddy is a former student of mine. Oh, it makes me feel old. But I appreciate Reddy coming up with my introduction. So check him out. He has some fantastic. Let me tell you, he's a beast. He is a beast when it comes to the beats, and I'll check him out. Check him out. Check him out. Check him out. Also, if you have not done so, please check out Berries by Crystal. You have Valentine's Day coming up, so I think today is the deadline. Check him out, Berries by Crystal. Let me tell you, not to be prejudiced at all. Those chocolate strawberries, baby. Let me tell you. That's right. The greatest producer in Birmingham. That's it. Reddy Kruger. REDDYKRUGER. The greatest producer in Birmingham. I appreciate you. So with Berries by Crystal, got Valentine's Day coming up. Please make sure that you check them out. They have fantastic specials. Also, if you have a special occasion coming up, you have a divorce, you have a birthday, you have funeral, appreciation, this token of love, whatever. Crystal is the one to get in touch with. She is fantastic. Also, she has a truck, Berries by Crystal. So you need to check out the truck. Now the truck has let me tell you, the truck has some fantastic eats. Oh man, please check out Berries by Crystal. Let them know that you've heard it from me, Oz. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you. I am a proud sponsor of the second annual Southern Bully Showdown. It starts on November 11th at the Bessemer Civic Center, 1130 9th Avenue, Southwest Bessemer. There are 4 ICBR shows. You can get in touch for more information. You can get in touch with Dewan Hall at 205-460-6435. Dewan Hall, 205-460-6435. 1888 Bully Kennel presents the Southern Bully Showdown. Number two. Let me tell you. See, also, if you wish to be a vendor, if you want to be a sponsor, if you want to be a participant, please get in touch with Dewan. This is a chance of the community, of the public becoming fully aware or knowledgeable of what the bully nation is all about. Uh, I didn't know the French Bulldog was part of the bully breed, or the Cane Corso was a member of the breed. So this is a chance. Bring your children out. It's a family event. If you have aggressive dogs, if you have dogs that are in heat, please do not bring them. Also, all dogs are to be on leashes. So, but please come out and support 1888 Bully Kennel. Dewan Hall, get in touch with him. I'm a proud sponsor. I believe in 1888 Kennel. Also, he has pups for sale, or you can co-own. But Dewan, hopefully, once I learn this StreamYard, I would like to have one to join me on the platform, so that way he can tell you more about the event coming up. But it's November 9th, so please put it down on your calendars, so that way you'll be able to visit. But it's a way of getting out. Uh, it's informational, it's educational, it's entertainment, and it gives you an understanding of the dynamics of the breed. Now, of course, you're going to have, as in any other group, you're going to have those specimens that are not going to be the examples that they should be. But we have to keep in mind that the breed is just a breed, and it's based on the owners. The owners are the ones that dictate how a dog reacts. And so please check out November 11th, November 9th, 2024. Check him out. Get in touch with DeWine, and he can let you know more information uh, about the second annual Bully Showdown. Hopefully, there'll be many more to come. If I know DeWine the way that I think I know DeWine, there are going to be plenty of more uh, showcases or showdowns. So check them out. 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 So we have a lot going on. Um, it's really frightening that when you have a past individual who was president still having control over Congress, that's kind of frightening. It's also even more so concerning and cause you to pause when 78, supposedly, allegedly from the polls, 78% of Republicans wouldn't mind this individual to be a dictator. And see, that's why it comes down to the constituents. That's why it comes down to the voters being well informed, well educated when it comes to civics. They should know the understanding of exactly what a dictator is. Again, it has to do with popularity. I don't see it. I think that he's an idiot and a fool. But of course, that's my opinion. But and see, the thing that's even more frightening, these are educated individuals, professionals, white collar individuals. Now, of course, you're going to have the blue collars, and you're going to have those individuals that uh, are questionable when it comes to the mentality. So you have that to contend with. You have a Congress that has, I think this is the first time that we've had a Congress that has been so ineffective and inactive because of stupidity. It's very frightening. And again, it goes back to people not being well informed. It goes back to that fragment, those Fritz uh, individuals who are on the outskirts. When you continue seeing Karens and Kens popping up, you know that something is wrong. You know that something is wrong. Uh, these individuals, these fragments, knew their place. But see, they no longer know their place. They think that they're part of mainstream, and it's really frightening that we have gotten to the point that we have allowed these individuals to become mainstream. It's very frightening. It's very frightening that you have a certain group that uses their power to scare individuals, to bully individuals, to manipulate individuals. I am not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-human. If you doesn't matter if you're black, white, Jew, Gentile. If you are doing what I feel is wrong, I'm going to call you out. It has nothing to do with your religion or your beliefs. Uh, I'm totally in support of the Palestinians. I make no apologies for it. I'm unapologetic for it. I support the Palestinians. I think that the occupation, the concentration camp that has been created by the Zionists is unethical, is inhumane. I think that I really don't understand why there is such a support of Israel. If it's because you think that because you support Israel, you're going to heaven. I hate to inform you that that has no connection to God. And you have to understand it's not the Jews that are doing all this horrendous persecution and inhumane. It's the Zionists. And the Zionists are not true Jews. They're European Jews. And from the what is it? The DNA studies, those individuals do not have the blood, do not have the DNA of the earliest Hebrews. So I'm in total support of the Palestinians. I think that if you are a Jew and you support what the prime minister is doing in Israel, I think then that you need to reconsider and you need to think about where you stand. Because if you agree with what's going on with, and you claim you're not a Zionist, you are a Zionist. And you need to understand the history of what Zionism is. Uh, Eventually, I will do a show with the history of the Zionism, how they came about. Uh, and then, too, when it comes to the United States, when you look at uh, our cabinet are all Jews. And you need to look that up. So, and then when it comes to uh, media, when it comes to music, when it comes to entertainment, you need to research to find out exactly what group owns all of that information. And that is one reason why it is not being disseminated like it's supposed to, because individuals have total control on what is produced, what is seen, and what is heard. And that is totally uncalled for, and it is unacceptable. Now, also, I need to back up and say that the opinions expressed on this show are not those of Smash Bros. Radio or its affiliates. These are my opinions. This is what I believe. Again, let me uh, 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 fathomably state it has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic. I'm anti-human. Anybody who knows me knows that I think 98% of human beings should die and go to hell. So it has nothing to do with your lifestyle. It has nothing to do with your religion. If you do something wrong, if you are inhumane, if you are evil, if you are persecuting, if you are uh, showing power, manipulating and bullying another group, well, then I don't have any support, I don't have any respect for you. So it has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic. You can't use that word on me. But I would like to go on public and say that I am in total support of the Palestinians. And then, two, I think that we need to have an understanding of exactly what Muslim is, what Islam is, what Jew is. Because, see, here in the United States, we can pop from one religion to another. I started out being a Southern Baptist, and then I was baptized Jehovah's Witness. Whereas in, excuse me, if you are born a Jew, or if you are a Jew, or if you're a Muslim, That is your life. That's your culture. That's just not something that is the epitome of what an individual is. That's your life. And so for individuals to come out, and 9 times out of 10, the reason why you have an opposition to the Palestinians is because you don't believe or you don't understand. And 9 times out of 10, you can't believe anything that the Israeli government comes out with. You cannot believe a Zionist. A Zionist will lie and stare you straight in the eye. You cannot believe anything a Zionist tells you. Nothing. Cannot believe a Zionist. So all these reports about all these atrocities that Hamas is doing, they're lies in most cases. And you have to understand exactly what the history of Hamas is. So for you to say that, well, we bomb, but you see, if you follow the Quran, if you follow the Torah, you would understand that it goes against what you're doing, because you are not supposed to murder. You're not supposed to rape. You're not supposed to beat women nor children nor old folks. That's in the Quran and the Quran and the Torah. And plus two, if you're going by the Torah tells you that the Jews are not supposed to have a homeland. Look it up. They're not supposed to have a homeland. And the majority, if I remember correctly, and I have to look again, the majority of the people who are in the prime minister's cabinet are Polish. Now, when they did the DNA, they found out that I think it was 78% of the Palestinians had direct bloodlines to the Hebrews. And so you need to understand the history. People say that, the problems came in when the United States and Britain or Europe became involved after World War II. Because, see, for the Zionists to claim that the original Gaza belonged to them is incorrect, and they're lying. Because you had multiple years where Gaza was a perfect place to live because of the camaraderie and the relationship that the religions have. There was no conflict. And if there was a conflict, it was worked out. And then you have the Zionists. The Zionists are the same thing as white supremacy is here. They're one and the same. Look it up. So you have all of this bombarding us. And then you have to keep in mind, too, we are still going through COVID. We're still suffering. We're still recovering from COVID. COVID knocked the wind out of us because we had an idiot that was in charge, that was so pompous and arrogant that all he had to do, and since he likes to take credit for everything, all he had to do was to follow the blue book, as I call it, of what President Obama has set up. I think President Obama had 2 or 3 issues. And because of him relying on experts, you didn't know anything about it. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And now it's coming out that during Obama's administration, as well as when Clinton was Secretary of State, there was a lot of underhandedness that was done. See, the United States has blood on its hands. The United States has always had blood on its hands. It started earlier. It's kind of amusing, kind of baffling that the original reason, supposedly, allegedly, that they came over was because of religious persecution. And then all of a sudden, they were persecuting people. Why do you think that the 13 colonies came about? Maryland was a Catholic colony. Pennsylvania was a Quaker. Then you have individuals you had the Puritists, you had the Puritans, or the Pilgrims, the Puritans, and then they were kicking people out because they didn't believe the same thing. So you come over here because of religious persecution, and you're persecuting people because they don't believe the same thing you do. So what do you expect? And then you come over and then you want to lie and cheat, murder, steal, beat, massacre Native Americans. And we still have yet to fulfill the treaties that were written. Look it up. So for us to be a God-fearing nation, it's a bunch of bullshit. And if you really want to do your research, the states that are called the Bible Belt are the states that have the most pornography, crimes, which are mostly Republican states. See, we have a lot of cleanup to do. COVID knocked the wind out of us. Long time ago, you had spurts of issues. You had the Dust Bowl. We were grouped because of the Dust Bowl. Then you had the Great Depression. Then we regrouped. Then you had the polio scare. Then we regrouped. But see, when COVID occurred, it was like a domino effect. There was no reason why we couldn't have been closed down. And because of the government being ineffective, and because of the government not fulfilling its obligations to its citizens or its constituents, you cause fear to develop. And rightfully so. When you are a parent or when you are a father and you have children in elementary school and high school and college, and you have all these bills coming about, and then all of a sudden the government tells you we are going to close down. Oh, hold up. How the fuck are you going to tell me to close down when you haven't even set up a safety net? Okay, well, how am I going to pay my bills? You caused this scare. You caused this fear because of your inability, and rightfully so. All if the issue, if the pandemic was handled correctly and properly, Congress would have set up some type of support system for small businesses and for families. That yes, we're asking you, or we're requesting, or recommending, or suggesting that you close down. Now, while we are going through this pandemic, while we are going through all of this, this is what you're going to have. These are your safety nets. We're going to make sure that your bills are not having to be paid for right now, but with an understanding that eventually you're going to have to pay these bills. The bills are going to have to be paid, but for right now, you don't have to worry about your bills. You worry about your children. You worry about your family. You have corporations that are not even being taxed correctly. So for the government, for the Republicans to say there's no way, there is a way. Because you have that 1% or that 10% of individuals that are not paying their taxes properly and correctly. You could have taxed them as well as taxed the corporations to fulfill the obligation when it comes to the voters. You could have done that. And it still can be done. There's no reason for the veterans not to have the support that they are required. There's no reason for children to go hungry during the summertime. There's no reason for the elderly to have problems. There's no reason for it. And people have to understand Social Security initially was to be used as a supplement. It was not supposed to be used as the main or the major or the primary check. It was to be used as a supplement. See, back a long time ago, you worked 30 years, you got a retirement, and then you use your retirement or your pension with your Social Security. But now you have individuals who live off of Social Security, and Social Security is not fulfilling their obligation. There are still individuals that are having to choose between food, medicine, bills. You still have individuals eating cat food, eating dog food. You do. You still have individuals having to choose which medicine is most important because they can't afford it. And then two, why are the medicines that we have here, the pharmaceutical companies that we have here creating all this medicine, why are all these medicines cheaper in Canada? Because it's regulated. If you were to go overseas and visit some of these fast food services, the food is going to taste different because it's being regulated. There's certain things that you cannot do over in Europe, overseas. Can't do it. That's why the food tastes different because it's prepared differently. Government has to have some type of uniformity when it comes to law. The abortion is a prime example. Prime example. But you have these individuals who claim to be religious, and they have no religion in them. So we're still recovering from COVID. And I think a report or research should be done on the after effect, the post COVID. You have children, you have teenagers who have become unsocialized because all they do is just do TikTok, Facebook. They don't know how to interact. There's no reason for the children to be as far behind as what they are. When did the parents step up, or did the parents step up? There was one lady here in Alabama over the mountain that was upset because her child couldn't read because she was out of school. Excuse you. The child couldn't read is because you didn't do your obligation as a parent to make sure that your child was reading or that you sat down with your child. I knew how to read before I started school. We didn't have kindergarten. Didn't have it. Didn't have preschool. But I knew how to read. I knew how to write. I knew how to color before I started school because people in the family taught me. COVID's messed us up. And I tell people, and they say, no, you can't be right. You're looking between 10 to 20 years of recovering from COVID because nothing's being done. And I'm 64. So at 84 years old, so if you have children that are 10 years old, they're going to be 30. If you're 50, you're going to be 70 years old but now you have to go back in time too and look at that. The United States is still a young country, as a young nation. We're not as old as what Europe. We are what I refer to as the teenage years because we're having change. COVID brought that change rapidly, expeditiously. We knew that the way that things were transported. We knew that there had to be some type of ratification, some type of update, some type of modification to transport produce and all. That's why the grocery stores didn't have the stuff on the shelves, because it wasn't improved. We don't think about improving until it gets to the point to where it's close to being destroyed. Look at the bridges. Look at infrastructure. Look at the pipes. The water pipes that we have been here 100 years. Should have been replaced. Should have been improved. Should have been changed. COVID's messed us up, and we still have it around. COVID has not gone away. COVID is still here. Still here. So what is the solution? You have a government that's ineffective. You have a government that's not doing anything except trying to bully, trying to manipulate, trying to get the orange tangerine idiot back into office. What does that say about us? What does that say about us as a nation? But see, again, we're going through the teenage years. We're going through those changes. We're going through to where we're questioning things that should have been questioned a long time ago. Europe went through this. Germany went through it. Germany is a prime example. After World War II, the German government finally made it a penalty, made it a crime to show anything that the Nazis had. And I think the same way it should be for this when it comes to the Confederate flags. I think there should be one huge bonfire where you buy all the Confederate paraphernalia and you have one huge ass bonfire. Have a party where you burn all Confederate flags. Anything dealing with the Confederacy, you burn it. I think that when you see those Confederate flags flying over the interstate, I think they should be torn down. And when you look at the history of the Confederate monuments, it has nothing to do with the Confederate. It has to do with maintaining white supremacy, maintaining racism. But that's what you like. That's what you permit. It should be a felony. Should be a felony. That is of the past. Don't tell me about Southern heritage. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. You cannot get any more Southern than me. I'm an 8th generation Alabamian. My folks started up in Virginia, Bowling Green, Virginia. We were horse breeders. Look it up. My family was the reason why you have purebreds. And when you do the research on purebreds, you'll find out that the father of the purebreds was a horse by the name of Diarmid. And Diarmid was brought over by my family. And then you had George Churchill Humes, who left Virginia and came down and settled down in Brewton, Alabama. So don't even try using Southern heritage, because you can't get any more Southern heritage than me. That's a bunch of bullshit. No one's telling you not to have pride in your history. We're not saying that. You can have pride, but there's a way to do it. But it's left up to us. So when are we going to finally stand up and say that enough is enough? and we make those changes. Here in Birmingham, we have a chance of being a beacon, being a model for other cities, not only in Alabama, but in the nation. As I've stated multiple times, you have a rail system that can be created running from Birmingham to Atlanta. And if you create, or if you allow that monorail system, do you understand the jobs that would be created for those counties in which that rail service would go through? And then you have investors that have come up to say that they want a rail system running from Birmingham to Texas. That would cover all of South Alabama down. Every county would be affected. There would be multiple jobs. And the plan's already there. Mayor Langford has the plans. All they have to do is update those plans. And maybe I'm too simplistic, but the way that I'm looking is that you have to sell the idea. And it's easy to sell the idea because money is your idea. Money is a foundation. Because see, what you do, you get all the commissioners in those counties. You get the commissioners in those counties to come together. You present the benefits and the liabilities of the monorail system. You present it to them. Once you have presented that plan to those commissioners, then those commissioners take it back to their counties and they talk to the mayors and they come up with an understanding. Then the commissioners request a meeting with the governor. And those legislators that are in Montgomery, because see, really what you could do, you could have one huge meeting. You could have a meeting of all the commissioners and the legislators in those counties in which that monorail system is going to affect, have a meeting with them. They in turn have a meeting with the governor. She in turn has a meeting with those individuals in Washington to see if there's any type of federal grants that can be used. It can be sold. Now understand that when you have a huge project like that, it's going to take conservatively 15 years because it's never been done. So you're going to have trial and error. It's going to happen. You're going to have to expect it. So in the first 5 years, you're tweaking everything. You're bringing everything together. And you have the experts. We have fantastic schools here in Alabama. So you have the experts that can come up with the solutions. Then the next 5 years, you're bringing everything together. The next 10 years, conservatively, in 10 years, the monorail system can pay for itself. So all the money that is created, all the finances, all the revenue that is created will go back to the counties. And do you understand, once you have that capital, once you have those revenues coming in, do you understand the social services that can benefit from that? You wouldn't have to raise any taxes. You wouldn't even have to have a gambling system. Do you know how many people travel to Atlanta, especially when we're going to most of us, if we know that we're going to have to fly to Atlanta, most of us drive to Atlanta anyway and park our cars. So it can be done. Now, of course, you're going to have naysayers, but that's in any, because you're going to have those individuals that God can come down and present it, and they still don't want it. Well, fuck them. You deal with them. So you have the monorail system that can affect all North Alabama, maybe the entire state, because you're going to have those equipment to be created, to be manufactured. So in general, it would benefit all of Alabama. Here in Birmingham, you have the Sports Flex. If the Sports Flex was managed correctly, properly, you can make that into a world-renowned place for swimmers and coaches to come, international. And that not only benefit Birmingham, but also Jefferson County. Then you have the Port of Birmingham, which would benefit the entire state. So see, you have 3 projects. It can be sold. Tom Bigby Waterway. All you have to do is get the Army Corps of Engineers to come in, dredge it, make it deeper. It can be done. Everybody can benefit. But there's no reason for us to be in the predicament that we're in. There's no reason for the veterans to be in trouble. There's no reason for the elderly, for the children. And those are the people that that's the groups that you should be looking out for. Why are children going hungry during the summer? What is going on? Children should not be going hungry during the summer. There should be no hunger period. You know, and it behooves, it really upsets me that you have to have these campaigns to raise money to feed people, having food banks. Why? Where? We failed a lot of people. The church is not as important as it should be. The government and the municipalities are not doing what they're supposed to. There's no reason for Birmingham to be in the predicament that it's in. No reason for it at all. Change has to come. But when? Mentalities have to change. I firmly believe that the reason why there's so much trouble in the communities and also in the neighborhoods because the children, the young adults, do not have structure. They do not have directions. They're not focused. There are no expectations. See, there were expectations in my family. There were obligations in my family. There was rules and regulations in my family. And it still can be. Some things should change, some things should stay the same. And it can be done. And you can continue saying that, well, it doesn't affect me, but it's going to affect you eventually because if you have children, it's going to affect your children. If civics is not being taught like it was back during my day, well, then you're going to have a constituency that is not going to be educated to think of its own. Because see, the Republicans do not want you to be able to think on your own. They do not want you to think, period. They want to be able to tell you. You can't believe them. And understand, let me back up. It's both parties. Because the Democrats aren't any better than the Republicans. Is when it comes down to which is the lesser of the two evils. Because and then there's a question about should we continue to have a dual system, a two-party system? No, but who's going to change? You have an election coming up in November. You have 2 geriatrics, WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant men, over 50, that have no business being in office. But who's the lesser of the evil? Biden's destroyed his popularity because of his support of the Israeli government, because of not wanting a ceasefire. And the only reason I'm voting for Biden is because I have no other choice. I do not trust Trump. I despise Trump. I think really when it comes down to it, our salvation might be to get Dr. Michelle Obama to run. Either have her run for the candidacy for president, or Biden Biden will have Dr. Obama to come in as his vice president, because Kamala Harris isn't doing anything. She's a joke. But Dr. Obama says that she doesn't want it, and I can understand why. But there's rumors in this, people saying that she's the salvation. Either she should run. Now, if she ran, she would get the election. If she became the vice president, Biden probably would have a better chance of winning than what he has now. So if you know how to get in touch with Dr. Obama, Democrats, this is your time to get your shit together. This is your time that really you should be campaigning and putting out all the advertisements, because people have forgotten what the Republicans have not done or what they have done. So Democrats, this is your time to get off of your asses and start actually campaigning now, flooding the market with what the Republicans have not done and what they have done. They have destroyed the United States. They have tried to destroy the Constitution. And what right does a man over 50 have to tell a woman what to do with her body? And is there really a problem with the border, or is that just a camouflage? Problem's always been there. You can send billions of dollars overseas, but yet you cannot help when it comes down to us. Something's wrong. Which really comes full circle, because if Birmingham would get off of its ass, and if we had a mayor to know what the fuck he was doing instead of trying to be a celebrity, we could be self-sufficient. Alabama is the only state in the union that, if you were to isolate it, can be self-sufficient. We have everything in Alabama that can sustain life. And if we had a mayor, if we had a governor, if we had legislators that knew what the hell they were doing, we could be self-sufficient when it came, especially when it came to revenue. Shouldn't matter who I believed in. Shouldn't matter who I have sex with. Shouldn't matter. But there has to have some type of uniformity. There has to be some type of adhesive, some type of connection straight across the board. And we can do it. We can do it. We can actually do it. There's no reason for Alabama, there's no reason for Birmingham City Schools to be in the predicament that it's in. And it was totally wrong for the mayor to come out and blame the teachers. Now, as in any profession, you're going to have some professionals that are not professionals. But that's in any profession. That's in any career. Parents are just not involved. And then the one thing that would always that caused me to pause is, you would take your child out of Birmingham and put them into a white system, and you won't say anything to them. You can't use a phone, can't come to the office and use a phone, but yet you want to cause an uproar when the Birmingham City does the same thing that the white system. You want to bitch and moan and complain and all. So you let the white folks get away with shit, and you don't have no say. So it is what it is. So what you going to do? Are you going to step up, take care of what you're supposed to take care of? It's left up to you. Left up to you. But we have to change. We have to have a type of authority. We have to have some type of support. And it has to come from the government. And we have forgotten that under Trump's administration, that the middle class is being taxed more each year. And see, the Democrats aren't doing anything about that. But this is the time for the Democrats to get up off of their ass. They need to flood the media with commercials showing exact. I mean, you have prime examples of idiots. You have Marjorie, that is the poster child of this. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. Again, if you have not done so, please like, follow, share, and subscribe. Smash Bros Radio. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on YouTube. Check us out. The only digital operating digital radio station located in Birmingham, Alabama. So we appreciate you. Know your value, know your worth, know that you are the one that controls everything about you. Love yourself, know you have value, know you have worth. I will see you tomorrow, Friday. But check out Berries by Crystal. Get your orders in. Look to see any type of specialties that they can do. Crystal is pretty good about coming up with anything that you need. Just give her the occasion, give her the event, and if she can, she will definitely come up with a specialty for you. Strawberries are fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, my God. But know that I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all take care. I will see y'all tomorrow. Be safe out there. Peace.